Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys, and of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that is in the description box down below. And as we get rolling here tonight, guys, we made it through. I know, it's a tricky Thursday, huh? We're all kind of crossing our fingers and toes and everything else we can cross. Like, woof, we made it through. But yes, guys, we did not lose another number one star player today, at least. So, and with that said, of course, let's go ahead and shout out the people helping to make MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly, of course. Thank you very much to the sponsor of the week. You know why he's here. SnugX. Representing, of course, and he's not just repping it there as a sponsor of the week. He's also been the Cash App King for 7 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to him.
Much love to Snug.
And you can see.
I go for 8. We'll see.
Up above, bossing that stream around, Mark Hovsepian with 72 points on the board. Once again, repping it O-line style. And, of course, gifting the memberships here with the membership crown, the man, the lunatic.
Yes.
Puro pinche Cowboys. Thank you so much to everyone here representing, helping to make MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly. Now, of course,
we have some leaders, when we talk about for this week. And for that sponsor of the week, right now in first place on the overall board is the man that's running the stream boss, Mark Hovsepian. Much love to him. He's currently in first place. Brandon James Shea in second on the overall board. Brandon James, though, he is first when it comes to the gifting leaderboard, trying to get that top spot. Jason has one on there. You can see it right above. And when it comes to the Cash App side of things, baby, we do have somebody who stood up, outside of a tie, broke a tiebreaker yesterday, and has a 1-point lead, if you want to call it that. In the Cash App right now, it is El Fuego, currently been on fire in here with us here with the family. So much love, El Fuego, currently trying to take that crown from Mr. SnugX 7 weeks in a row. El Fuego currently got the Micah Parsons total in there. So appreciate you, El Fuego, and everybody in the house here. Not just, when it comes to the super chats or, of course, the memberships you guys can jump in and join. You can also have, you got Navy, Blue, Silver, Star, and over everything levels. But then you also have gifting memberships, which you also touched on, and also the thanks button. But there's 4 other ways you can help the channel here and also be in our other kind of contest you just heard about the Cash App side. There's 4 ways of helping out through that side of things.
well, of course, you have the money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
That's right, guys. And of course, also here when it comes to memberships, we shout out the star level and over everything level memberships every single day and night here in MCF. Now, tomorrow's Fan Friday, so it is the silver level, too, gets the shout-outs here, because you guys run the show here with us. You guys are the sponsors that really make the MCF channel go. So, baby, without further ado, give us the shout-outs for those over everything members, or member, and the star level membership, top shelf.
Of course, shout out to SnugX over everything, and to our star members, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, the Lunatic. Thank you so much to all of you. Much love.
Run of the show, guys. And again, as we move on to the next thing, baby, we've got the star level membership and over everything raffle going down. Don't forget that's coming around here in October. So yeah,
it's going down for real.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Yeah, again, star level, sewn and stitched. You know how this thing goes. Cowboys Mosh jersey. We got millions of his jerseys, and there's a lot of different players to pick from, styles. Great stuff. Some of the people right in the chat yesterday, I'm pretty sure they ordered some of his jerseys already just directly from him as well. But you can get one here. Star level or over everything level raffles, monthly raffles, one lucky winner. Congrats to Jason Renfro, who won last month. Well, this month. We'll see who wins for October. Coming right around the corner. Now, baby, who's in the house tonight? Hey, get the shout-outs going.
We have El Fuego 2.0, what's up?
Yeah.
Bama Fan, much love. Daniel Berry Sports, what's up? Hello and hi. Retro Scotty representing. Dallas Cowboy 92, what's up? We have Cool saying, does LVE stand for late and very slow? Oh, I'm sorry, that was a good one. Murray Roberts, what's up? Much love to you as well. Hey, you're ready to go. Or should I say, ready to roll? Hint, hint. Anyway, Jesse R., what's up? Much love. Sorry, I had to throw my little joke in there. Jason Renfro, much love to you. Of course, representing as well. Just trying to go back, make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Skeptical fan always. Staying skeptical, you already know. Much love to Snug X in the house. I think Freedom First was actually first this time, so shout out to him as well. Rolando Rodriguez, what's up, all the way from South Texas. So, baby, let me shut up, let me stop talking, and hand things over to you, because like I said, we got lots of football things to get through, and of course, thankfully, no broken Cowboys today.
Yeah. We'll definitely be touching on the injury stuff a little later. Of course, injury updates major. So we'll get to that here in a minute. But I do want to start off with some football here on Thursday Night Football. Yes, Montgomery, guys. Yes, David Montgomery. You might know him. I think he was with the Chicago Bears a couple years ago. But Montgomery scored 3 touchdowns and for the Detroit Lions to beat the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football on Prime, Amazon Prime, I guess, Prime Video. So, again, David Montgomery, he ran for 121 yards, 3 touchdowns for the Detroit Lions, and they are now the team to beat in the NFC North, right? We figured this with this conference, with this division, that they'd be the 4th team in the conference, but probably the team to beat in the NFC North. They dominated the first half. I mean, it was like 27-3 on Thursday night. They ended up winning 34-20 at the final score. David Montgomery got the ball 32 times. Ran the ball 32 times. Sat out the victory last week over Atlanta with a thigh bruise. He became the first Detroit Lion to rush for 3 touchdowns at Green Bay and the first Detroit player to get over 100 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns since James Stewart in 2000 for the Lions. So, they've broken new ground, I guess you could say, tonight. But the Lions now are 3-1. They beat the Packers, who are now 2-2 for a 4th straight time. Just laying it out there for you guys. Now that's almost the whole day of NFL news. There was one last interesting thing, and I really hope the best mental health-wise for Chandler Jones, because Chandler Jones, guys, very concerning video. I'm not going to play it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he did a live broadcast, started uncontrollably crying after saying Aaron Hernandez did not kill himself in jail. And again, hopefully someone can help him, because then he continued by saying, basically, quote, Josh McDaniels had my twin, Aaron Hernandez, killed at Industrial Park, not in jail. See my IG for details. Continuing later on, quote, I'm off social media for a while. You've seen enough. I'll leave that live video up until noon. Screen record he said why you can, but it's while you can. I'm about to hang with strippers, so don't check on my well-being. They got me. He needs help, obviously, guys, in a major way. So, and again, remember, McDaniels is the current head coach, Josh McDaniels, for the Raiders. And he thinks that McDaniels, while he was at the Patriots, had Aaron Hernandez killed. Obviously, some issues going down there. So, hopefully he gets the help he needs. Now we're going to turn to NFL news, or from NFL news to Dallas Cowboy news, specifically Micah Parsons news, guys. And let's just go with, we'll go to this year's video with the Giants. I mean, some dominating effect from Micah here. Not just for him on this play, yes, but for the rest of these clips, you'll see how he creates for other players. That's partially why Micah Parsons today was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Month for his work in the month of September. This is Micah Parsons' first career. Ooh, wait, hold on. Pablo Moreno in the house.
Ooh, thank you for summing it up. Appreciate you.
Yes, welcome to the family here, Pablo. Appreciate you. So this is Micah Parsons' first career NFC Defensive Player of the Month award. Pretty amazing, right? He's the 4th Cowboy to win NFC Defensive Player of the Month, joining Sean Lee. That was in September of 2011, and of 2013 of October. DeMarcus Lawrence did it September 2017, and Trayvon Diggs did it in September 2021. So again, only the 4th guy to get this award, NFC Defensive Player of the Month. So congrats to Micah, but he wants more than that. And Jason Renfro giving back some love here.
Woo!
By dropping a gifted membership for Alex. Congrats to Alex for winning that free membership for a month.
And thank you to Jason Renfro. Appreciate you, of course.
Always
go Cowboys.
Kicking it off here, I guess you can say, right? Mm-hmm. So much love, Jason Renfro. Appreciate you. And he has a safety now, officially scored a safety on that gifting board. Still down by a field goal with Brandon James in control right now. In control. So appreciate you, Jason. Much love. And go Cowboys. You know the deal.
You already know it.
You know what he's saying. Now, again, you're seeing here the what Micah Parsons is doing in the field, not just getting the sacks, but causing others to get sacks. He gets double teamed here, gets a sack anyways. This is all from this month of September. Mike McCarthy, on the award for Micah Parsons, said, quote, and this was today, by the way, Mike McCarthy spoke about this. He said about the award for Micah Parsons, quote, I'm very pleased with the way Micah has attacked the season so far. He was Defensive Player of the Month in training camp, too. So basically, Mike McCarthy is saying Micah was the best player in that field on defense. In our behind the scenes, in our practices, in training camp, he's been the player of the month. He's probably the player of last month, too, is what he's trying to say as well. So McCarthy, full praise there, all out praise for the man, Micah Parsons, as he deserves it, the NFC Defensive Player of the Month.
Really
first one he ever had.
See him, fight for Defensive Player the next month, too.
Agreed. So,
and beyond.
He could. This is his first one, which is a little surprising. It came, I guess, this late. Never being late. The man, Jason Renfro, already gifting one membership. He's dropping that dollar holla. Appreciate you, Jason, and that Go Cowboys tagged along with that navy blue, silver too. Star for everything.
Ooh.
Get that 6 and beyond.
I think in the case of Micah, guessing it was also just a timing thing. Maybe when he was having a more dominant month, there just happened to be someone who was having a better one.
Could have been, yeah.
So it just happened that now it was undeniably Micah Parsons.
So, and it's funny because there was still other great performances out there. Bosa, T.J. Watt, and many others. I guess that's the other division when it comes to T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
But even Bosa can't hang with Micah right now on this side. So, anyways, much love, Jason. Thank you for the gifted membership as well. I'm going to keep reiterating that. Those drops take Mark to 70 points on the Stream Boss. Now, we're going to stay with the defense here, guys, because this is kind of, I don't say a controversial subject, but to me it's more of a splitting of the Cowboy fan base. And it's not in a big way or a major way, but it's a player that's kind of been passed around out there as, and it's funny, baby, I mentioned this last night right here in My Cowboys Family, that people are kind of falling for the okie doke on one of our linebackers that I think that people are just hyping him up too quickly, a little too fast. And I spoke about him yesterday, saying, do not believe the hype of replacing LVE with Devon Harper, number 50. This guy, in case you didn't know who he was. A lot of people don't know who he is. But that's the thing. It's not about knowing who he is. It's about, look, he is explosive in some play. He's not no DeMarvin Overshown explosive, but he's explosive, comparatively, let's say to LVE. He's got some explosive plays. He did show it in preseason. He also, was in preseason. He also, had a couple penalties, some boneheaded plays, and today the Cowboys released him. Now, this guy's been hyped up, and I'm sorry to say, a lot of Cowboy people out there on YouTube and other places are saying, yeah, he's ready to replace LV with him. Shut up. I said that yesterday, and today the Cowboys must have heard us because they cut him. And I'm not saying he's bad, because I like Devon Harper. I just think that people are rushing LV out the door after a bad game on some holding calls by the Cardinals that they didn't call. And again, I do agree he was off on his reads and moving people around, made some mistakes, but the picture, the problem is not the LVE. The problem was the scheme and how things were kind of put together and how these guys kind of, like the coaches seemed confused. The players are going to be confused too, especially LVE, and others were confused on the back end in coverage. So I'll get to that in a minute. First, much love to Jason Renfro for dropping the 103 in the place to be.
Ring that bell again with the Go Cowboys.
Appreciate you, brother. Much love, Jason Renfro. Now, I know we're going to have a discussion about this linebacker thing.
Oh, yeah.
But, when it comes down to it, here's the deal. By the facts, not my opinions at all, guys. The Cowboys have waived Devon Harper. He's a second-year, sixth-round pick from last season out of Oklahoma State. He saw action in 6 career games for our Cowboys last year and this year combined. He's now officially on waivers. No one has officially made a claim or picked him up yet. Now, remember, this year, what happened in the last game? That big return by Kevontae Turpin. The penalty was on Devon Harper. Now, is that the make or break? I sure hope not. But the thing was that Devon Harper didn't play no real defensive snaps. He played special teams. That was his MO, and he was faltering there. It must have been other things as well that maybe he was messing up on in special teams. No real opportunity to go out there on defense right now, but we only really use nickel all the time. That means not many linebacker sets. You can have more than 2 in it. Then we have hybrid safeties coming down and playing, the third linebacker. There's really, right now, there's no initial push for him to be playing as a linebacker on the defense. But special teams, you cannot afford to make mistakes. That's your thing. And he got that flag for a holding call that was not a needed hold. Again, it was a boneheaded play, not really a the refs cheated us kind of shit. It was a boneheaded play where, he didn't have to hold at all. There was no need to hold. I'm assuming that did not sit well with Bones. And again,
there's other factors as well, because again, maybe if circumstances had been different, that mistake maybe wouldn't have cost him a roster spot, right? But in this particular instance, because of other factors on the team as well, because that's, I'm just saying, like, it's easy for people to just kind of see it from one perspective, but there's only 53 roster spots to go around, right?
Yeah, here's the thing, though. What's the Cowboys' plan? Did he mess up, or was he the 53rd guy? Obviously, it seemed to me that it could have been a mixture of both, but you don't get rid of somebody who has upside. And I think Devon Harper has upside. So this is, again, even though I didn't agree with some counterparts out there that are saying that he's the next thing to take over for LV, I think that was a little bit jumping the gun. I'm going to be real about it. But then again, he's still
sad to see him go.
I don't want him to go. I didn't think he was having those kind of issues with Bones or on special teams, because that's what I think kind of pushed him over the top. So again, we're going to talk about our linebacker room, which is surprisingly very thin. I'll tell you some options there. But the Cowboys currently, after he was cut, what's the option at linebacker? We got LVE. We got Damone Clark. Those are our starters. And then who's next? Because we lost Overshone. We cut Bell. We don't have Jabril Cox. He was released with the cuts. So who's the next guy up? I mean, it's...
Cut Bell.
No, not Bell. I'm sorry. We cut... no, not Harper. We cut... shit. What's his name? Cox.
There we go.
Jabril Cox. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I'm like, who the heck?
We cut Jabril Cox. So after all of these things, who's next on the list right now? Well, we have no other linebackers. On our 53-man roster, we have 2 linebackers. And I guess you could say Marquise Bell. Kind of a pseudo linebacker. Much love to the man staying skeptical fan with that $2 J. Lou Holler.
Ooh, thank you so much, Skeptical. A classic. Go Cowboys.
Yes, appreciate you, Skeptical. Much love. And go Cowboys.
Oh, so, by the way, I'm kind of cracking up at all the people asking, have you seen this person on the defense?
Yeah,
because there's been, I'm just saying, like, there's been quite a few guys that we just haven't really seen much of, and, we're including weeks 1, 2, and 3.
People going to say about Devon Harper is that he didn't have the opportunity. He's really good. People are just hyping him up because they like him. Oh, they like some of the stuff he put on film. He's an athletic linebacker. It's good, okay to like him because he has a possible future. He's fast and athletic for a linebacker. Seems to fit right with the Cowboys, but for some reason, the Cowboys passed on him. Now, we're talking about the flag situation, but here's who's next up in my mind. There's no other linebackers on the 53-man roster, but there is other linebackers, although one more linebacker on this team, and he's on our practice squad. And that's Malik Jefferson. Malik Jefferson, let me just give you guys a little something on him real quick. He's currently on the practice squad. And number one, Devon Harper was released. If no one claims him tomorrow, I actually expect the Cowboys to claim him and move him onto our practice squad. Now, is there a current spot open? I don't think so, but there will be, because I believe we're gonna move somebody from the practice squad up to our 53-man roster, and that's gonna leave that one spot open on the practice squad, which I think we get Devon Harper back if he clears waivers. I believe he will. No one's gonna pick him up and put him on their 53-man roster. So if that's what I think is gonna happen initially, right? Malik Jefferson will come onto our 53-man roster, possibly an option. There's other options. Remember, guys, Malik Jefferson had a really good training camp, a strong showing in that first preseason game, and then he suffered that injury. So that's what gave the Cowboys the ability to kind of cut him and then re-sign him again, and no one picked him up. If not for the injury, the word was Malik Jefferson was on track to make the active roster before Devon Harper. So it looks like Malik Jefferson was expected to pass Devon Harper on the linebacker staff. So let me stop for a minute, because the man who's running the show 15 weeks in a row, at least for the all-time MCF record here on the Sponsor of the Week board. Much love to the man, Mark Hovsepian, dropping that 5 on it, who's got the lead on the overall board and 72 points on the stream boss. What did the man say?
He said, he's a typical Dallas guy. Undrafted, and he was a hidden gem, blah, blah, blah. I would say this. We have 0 depth at linebacker. Was he that bad? I don't think so.
So first off, let me just make sure he's a 6th rounder, not an undrafted. I just want to make sure I get that out there. So again, he had some qualities there. He is an athletic guy, but yeah, listen, I'm with everybody who thinks that this is most people don't even know the fuck he is because he never played and had opportunity in this Dan Quinn. Whether he's right or wrong on this in this Dan Quinn defense, I think people were over. It's like they want to find the issue. People were basically trying to blame LVE as being the issue to the defense. That's what I felt some people were doing out there. And I just think that let's see a couple more failures by LV before we start to throw them out. Because I trust Dan Quinn, and I do believe that when you look at this game, not only was LV out of place, but so was half the freaking team. Some of that was his own call on the field, so yeah, maybe LV could get better there, obviously. But it seemed to me like everybody, even the coaching staff, was confused. So when it comes to LVE, the fact that you would be people out there that are trusted by a large, portion of the Cowboy fan base. People out there are telling people that this is a catastrophe. This is a horrible. How could the Cowboys do this? Because they were hyping up their guy, and I just think that is not necessarily, genuine. So to me, I think that when it comes to Devon Harper, he's an up and coming talent. He was good depth. I think the Cowboys want to either go Malik Jefferson in that spot. They probably regarded him as the guy, that's kind of the better depth of the two guys because Malik Jefferson got injured. Harper made the team. So I think that, Jefferson on the 53, that could be a possibility off the practice squad. And then basically it's called flipping spots, flipping places. You can see Jefferson getting on a 53 and then him crossing waivers coming back on the practice squad. So those that love him, don't fret. I have a feeling he'll be back tomorrow with the Cowboys. Tomorrow night we'll be talking about how he's back. You see the same picture and I'll be saying, told you so. Or he gets picked up by somebody else and they roll the dice on their 53-man roster for the next 4 weeks. That's what they have to do if they pick him up. So that's one option for that spot. For why are we letting Harper go? That's one reason, right? Malik Jefferson. Now, another reason, again, it could be a trade. Are we going to trade? Are we going to pick somebody up in free agency? Are we going to pluck somebody's practice squad and put them on our 53? That is possible. I haven't heard any names. I don't know if they're up to that or not. We'll find out tomorrow on the 53. Will it be Malik Jefferson going up? Or will it be somebody we poach or sign or trade for? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. As far as linebackers are concerned, I would say, like Mark Hovsepian just said, where's our depth? There isn't. And one of these guys get hurt, Marquise Bell's a starting linebacker now. And if one of those other guys get hurt, then we have no linebackers. Jaron Curse? I don't know. So Malik Jefferson to me is a must. Whether the Cowboys put him on the 53 or they elevate him, I think Malik Jefferson is our third linebacker. Or I guess our fourth linebacker behind Marquise Bell. Now, and basically our backup linebacker, in my opinion, too, like the LVE Damone Clark role. Backup center in this spot.
Which is why, and that was the key thing that made me realize, this is the at least to me, the main factor behind some of the decision. Because if you're asking me, would I rather have another linebacker? Would I rather have some depth at O-line? I'm going to pick O-line probably twice over. The
guy that doesn't get on here, here's the thing. So Malik Jefferson or Brock Hoffman, the guy that does not get put onto the 53 is the elevated player. That's a fact. That's not a guess. Well, let me put it this way. It actually is a guess. Brock Hoffman cannot be elevated, so let me keep that back because we got Billy Price. I'll talk about him in a second. We just picked him up and put him in our practice squad. But the key here is that the Cowboys could use Brock. We cannot use Brock Hoffman anymore unless he gets signed to the 53-man roster, and he'll be our backup center. So right now, he's useless on our team, Brock Hoffman. So the Cowboys may want to, get some use out of him as our backup. He may be elevated. So I think either or is a good possibility, don't you think? I mean, it could be Malik Jefferson. He could be elevated weekly for 3 more weeks and then put on the team somehow. I think that you have Brock Hoffman cannot be elevated. So I think that there's a better chance that he gets put onto the 53-man roster since he's useless outside of that. And then when you have, Devon Harper situation, leaving that spot. And again, Malik Jefferson can be a guy that either gets, I guess there isn't a chance for him, like I said in the beginning, to be put on the 53-man roster as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I'm looking. But I think there's also 2 other guys to kind of discuss here. Because remember, after this month, I'll stop in a minute here. Because first we got 24/7 Cowboy in the house. Woo. Dropping that $2 holler.
Thank you so much, 24/7.
What did the man say?
He said, why is Oh, I'm guessing LVE.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you meant to say LVE. Why is LVE still on this team and Harper is done? Again, the long and the short of it is LVE is better. I didn't say that he's like a fucking star player. I didn't say he's a Pro Bowler. I just said he's better than Harper.
At this moment, that's the case, in my opinion, as well. This moment. Now, does he have a chance to pass him up next year? Possibly. Whatever. I trust Dan Quinn over Cowboy content creators. So, over my own thoughts. Like, Dan Quinn, not Mike McCarthy or Jerry Jones in some of these situations, but Dan Quinn I trust over the talking heads, so to speak. So, look, all I'm trying to say is that Devon Harper, it's too bad of a loss. I don't think it's a Ridgeway type loss that he's going to come onto it. Ridgeway was a starter onto another team like almost immediately. I don't think Devon Harper's going to go to another team and become a starter. But again, we'll have to wait and see, because I think there's also a good chance he comes back to the team. The Cowboys are not going to let LVE just get released and cut or demoted because he had one bad game. He had a bad game, looked confused. But the coaches looked confused. The other players looked confused. The back end cover. Are we going to replace Malik Hooker with Israel Mukuamu because he blew a 69-yard play? Are we going to replace these guys because they have a bad game or they look bad in the game? Stephon Gilmore had a real bad game. Should we replace him with Deshaun Wright when he gets back?
Let me know.
Yeah, I'm asking rhetorically here, but I'm just trying to say.
I didn't answer it. I'm like, no.
That's what I'm trying to say is that when I'm looking at the way the Cowboys are doing things, with Dan Quinn, I trust in his opinion. I trust that he's cutting Devon Harper. He's cutting him. There's a reason he's letting him go in his scheme and his system. Something he's doing wrong that he hasn't learned in 2 years. That supersedes the bad game of LV.
Honestly, it could also be, nothing even wrong with him. It's just like you said.
We need that extra spot.
We need someone a little bit more right now, and, maybe he's still developing, or it has absolutely nothing to do with that. We just chose to sacrifice, the linebackers at the altar of the O-line because that ended up becoming a bigger priority.
And I think I think the Cowboys looked at this and said, who would not be picked up in waivers? And Devon Harper is their answer over other options maybe that they had on their team. I think you got to remember, guys, Devon Harper has a good future, I think. Good upside, but he is not the answer to the reason why our defense messed up last week. People are out there trying to blame LVE's the issue. Let's replace him with the fifth-string linebacker. That's stupid, guys. That's dumb. So, again, if Dan Quinn did that, then I'll be like, all right. But that because 10 people are saying it, we gotta get freaked out about it. Listen, it is not a major loss. We'll see if he clears waivers tomorrow. I'm not going to spend too much time on this anymore. We're rolling out of this. So, again, when you have two players on the roster still that are going to be put after week 4, guys, after this game against the Patriots, Matt Waletzko and Deshaun Wright, both these guys are on the injured reserve list, and the earliest they can come off of this is on Monday. So, could that be a guy that they're going to make room? Are they making room for it? I doubt they do it this early in the week when we still have we have a whole week to go before. Are these guys going to come right back onto the 53-man roster? I don't think so. I think it might take an extra week or two before Waletzko or Deshaun Wright even get off of the IR list. So this is not for them, in my opinion, even though some people are out there saying that keep an eye on that move as well. Either way, Brock Hoffman, Malik Jefferson, if it's in-house, or we pluck somebody on somebody's practice squad and put someone on our 53 the Cowboys really like, and don't want to mess around putting them on the practice squad. So that's what I'm thinking. Any quick comments in the chat, maybe, about this release?
Rolando Rodriguez said, MCF, if the Cowboys lose a linebacker due to injuries, you have to put Micah back. You forgot he's a linebacker?
Yeah. Micah, of course, Micah's another option. And like I said, Marquise Bell. Those are your backups right now on defense at linebacker. Yeah, I guess you can throw a little Israel Mukuamu, but he don't really play linebacker. He's playing that he would play that hybrid like safety J-Ron Curse kind of role.
Yep. So Fuego, what's up? Saying that Harper's gonna end up with the Jets or Green Bay if we don't end up signing him back.
Well, he may. Once he clears waivers, he can sign wherever he wants to, but it'll be on teams' practice squads, right? Until then, teams have 24 hours to make a move claim for him. If they make a claim for him, they don't have, and they had the higher claim than other teams, then they get him, and he doesn't hit waivers. Which once he hits waivers, he just goes to the practice squad.
So 24/7 Cowboys said, I trust Dan Quinn as well. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, I know. It is frustrating to see guys like Ridgeway and now Harper kind of gone for now. But we'll see. I have a feeling if he clears waivers, we'll all be happy. Devon Harper will be back with the practice squad, probably where he belongs, and Malik Jefferson might be on the 53 or Hoffman for center help, Jefferson for linebacker help. I might update the board here, baby, and just hit up another comment or two so I can...
No, of course. Let me go ahead and roll back a little bit here. And Fuego 2.0 said, yeah, we're maybe getting another linebacker, so I gotta make room, I guess. So, and yeah, that's the point. It still does technically leave the door open for the Cowboys to still do something about that linebacker situation. Remember, we're still technically relatively early into the season. So, that trade deadline is still within the realm of possibility of us doing something. So, not saying it's a trade, just saying that we have a few options. Yeah, if we still want to do something
if
about
the Cowboys see something. The Cowboys usually wouldn't do this until after the trade completes.
I agree.
So, that's why it's like, we have to wait and see what the plan is. But tomorrow I think we'll know a lot more. And will it be Malik Jefferson? Will it be Brock Hoffman? Brock Hoffman, to me, would be the number one choice because he has no more elevations. Malik Jefferson can still be elevated. So we'll have to wait and see. But, I think that either way we turn, it's not the end of the world, family. It's all right. It's all right. It's frustrating, but it is okay.
Yes.
Now,
thankfully, it's not like we, released Trayvon Diggs or anything like that.
No. You think we did, but some people, freaking out a little bit. But we'll be all right.
So, Pioneer, that's actually a very interesting... very good take, though. Shout out Stephen White, by the way. But Pioneer said, unfortunately, it emphasizes how poorly we drafted this season. It's not like we didn't know what we needed. And obviously, look, we know that you're not going to exactly bat 100 on every single draft. But, damn.
Well, I guess you can say that. Again, it depends on what players were there at the time. I want to make sure we all remember. Please, let's all remember that he was a 6th-round pick, Devon Harper. That just didn't, it didn't come to fruition for whatever the reason. It's not the end of the. It's almost like Mark said. He said undrafted, but it's almost just like an undrafted player that didn't work out. I don't think the Cowboys were not looking to draft a linebacker. I think the Cowboys were looking to really have Overshown, to have guys like Marquise Bell in there step up, but I think also guys like our safeties coming and playing a little more of that run support role. So I think the Cowboys thought they had enough. And maybe still do with that. But again, Malik Jefferson is more of a, run off the ball type of linebacker, which we have actually, I think, a lot. Those are the ones we have to get, right? The off ball linebacker ones, like the LVEs type, right? And I think Malik Jefferson is the backup to him. I think Malik Jefferson is going to be, our third run stopping, behind Damone Clark, NLV, our third run stopping linebacker, with Marquise Bell as that support guy there, which again is a safety that's changed over to linebacker for this season. So that's what we have right now. We only had like 4 linebackers here anyways, right? Mm-hmm. So now we kind of have 4 again, if you look at Malik Jefferson as our 4th guy.
So, but yeah, definitely not, something I had considered as far as, the fact that it feels like we're swinging and missing on a few of our draft picks already. But, of course, remember, they just got drafted.
That was last year.
You got to give them time
This was last year,
continue to percolate.
He's been here for a full year already. So.
Yeah, so how much more percolating do you need to see?
I think the Cowboys he wouldn't percolate. See, I think the thing is this. who would you rather have in a game to stop the run? If you had to bring in another linebacker, would you rather have Devon Harper or would you rather have Malik Jefferson? And the Cowboys, Dan Quinn, are saying Malik Jefferson.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on that.
It's funny. Fuego literally just said put Malik Jefferson as a cornerback. The brother has the speed.
Malik Jefferson will not be playing cornerback, but he will be playing. I guarantee you, when the Cowboys, if they make this move with Jefferson or elevate him, he will get snaps in the game. You will see him, and he's a good run stopper. So that's what you're seeing. Okay, Devon Harper is not really a run stopper, or is big enough, kind of strong enough, knows the game enough to be a defensive run stopper, a full-time kind of way. Malik Jefferson is. And you're looking between these 2 guys, Malik Jefferson is better than Devon Harper for what the Cowboys need him to do. You guys feel me here? That's what this is about. And hopefully Harper comes back in the practice squad. So he still gets to be in practice and learn and grow, and then maybe get elevated in the future. Maybe himself, Devon Harper, right? Or put on the 53. We will see. So anyway, any last comments on this before we move on, baby? Because we did have a good conversation on Devon Harper.
No, but
and the fallout from this.
You kind of already touched on them right before this, since we were going back and forth for a little bit there. So, but yeah, let me hand it back to you, baby.
All right, so Devon Harper, we should see you back here tomorrow. All right, I'm going to cut him off the Cowboy team here for a minute, and we'll see him. I'm hopeful we'll see him back in the Cowboy practice squad. If not, oh well. I mean, we have our 4 linebackers, I believe, with Malik Jefferson taking his spot, whether it's on the 53 or on the field when it comes to time for the game to be played. So, Mike McCarthy spoke. I mean, he spoke this and that, nothing really much. The main thing he spoke about was our injuries on the offensive line. Let me get through it. This is what Mike McCarthy said. He expects, here's what he said for today before practice, that Zach Martin today and, we just talked about center Tyler Biadasz, both these guys would be worked into practice in today's practice. They were both inactive last week against the Cardinals. But again, then you add the third guy to the mix, Tyron Smith. And remember, he was in pads and the whole thing against the Cardinals with that knee issue. He got it in a walkthrough on Saturday. He was in uniform again on Sunday. But today, according to McCarthy, he will be in the rehab group. That was the word from McCarthy. And McCarthy also mentioned that they realized when he was in the warm-ups for the game, the day of the game, for the pregame, that he could not go. He just couldn't go. So obviously, whatever it is, it's something to keep an eye on. Now, here's why I say keep an eye on it, because then we see practice go down. And practice, Zach Martin and Tyler Biadasz, they were both in full pads, guys. You hear me? Zach Martin in full pads today. Also, Tyler Biadasz in full pads.
Finally, some happy news.
That's major.
Right?
Some great news there. If both these guys are in pads today, if there's no setbacks in today's practice and tomorrow's practice and the walkthrough too, both Tyler Biadasz and Zach Martin will be ready to play against the Patriots at home on Sunday. So that is the look right now. When you look at the football field, here's the only issue. The bad news. Tyron Smith was nowhere to be seen. He was supposed to be out there with the rehab group. He wasn't even there with Britt Brown. So I don't know. To me, it's more doubtful now that Tyron Smith is ready to go on Sunday, just based off of seeing the way things were, going on in the field. Tyler Biadasz, again, guys, I'm going to reiterate his name here because Tyler Biadasz led the centers out today in practice, ran out with the centers. So that right there to me was, another good indication Tyler Biadasz is ready to hit the field for the game, for the game day situation. So great news from two guys with Biadasz and Zach Martin. Still not great news with Tyron Smith, who right now is MIA when it comes to being on that field 2 straight days. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe he goes to limited practice. So we'll see what happens. So those are the injuries there. I did want to go through a couple injuries from yesterday. CeeDee Lamb, or not injuries, but practice reports. CeeDee Lamb and DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence was not in practice yesterday, and neither was CeeDee Lamb. We knew it was a rest day, and today, guess who was on the field? Both CeeDee Lamb and DeMarcus Lawrence. So great. Obviously, no worries there. I know some people were worrying about, are they really injured, and some clickbait stuff going out there. Again, like we said yesterday, it was just a resting day, a vet day for CeeDee Lamb and DeMarcus Lawrence, and they both were out there on the field today, full pads, the whole thing. So good to see that after taking that Wednesday off for rest. Another 2 guys I just mentioned a minute ago, Matt Waletzko with the shoulder, and cornerback, and that's an offensive lineman right away, and Deshaun Wright, cornerback with the ankle injury. Both these guys are eligible to come off the IR on Monday after serving the first 4 weeks of the season on the list. They have both been working off to the side during practice, with each of these guys increasing their workload as time has went on. So they are gearing up and prepping to get ready to get back on the field with the team sometime next week. Matt Waletzko, offensive lineman. We want to add some offensive line depth. You got one right there. And then you got Deshaun Wright at cornerback, which could be important if he continues to grow, which I don't know how long I'm going to wait on him, but that's the situation with the crew there. The final thing about this, well, actually, we're talking about offensive linemen. I did want to make a comment here before we get to the actual final injury numbers here. And I also wanted to shout out a special somebody here, guys, who dropped a little Tony Pollard love in the house. And you guys, as we always say, you guys know who he is. You guys know why he's here. It's Mr. Snug X.
Woo! Thank you so much, Snug X.
Dropping
Appreciate you, of course, and that
Tony Pollard. Yeah, $20 Tony Pollard holler from the man Snug X, who, by the way, now is in first place on the Cash App board. Snug X hitting the scene, crispy and clean.
You know what he had to say?
What did he have to say?
Go Cowboys.
Ow!
Always.
Much love, Snug. Appreciate you. Yes, and the wife is doing a great job once again here tonight. So let me update the board once again, baby, because I think that's Snug's first appearance this week.
I think so, yeah.
And he jumps right up there with the rest of the crew. So,
but yeah, Retro Scotty. So honestly, it's not much of a situation as far as Tyron Smith. It's just the same thing that usually always happens. So of course,
it takes him longer to get healthy. I think.
So he doesn't really need to practice the way that other guys do. The best thing we can do is just try to keep him healthy. So that's why you're seeing him limited in practice. But no one really confirmed how exactly he got hurt during a walkthrough, but
his ankle,
his
knee.
So, that's kind of just par for the course. I think the reason that they had him suit up and be active and everything is just because of the last minute nature of the situation.
Yeah, they want to give him a feel, see how it's going to work.
Hoping to see that whatever he tweaked up there was maybe feeling better by game time. I'm assuming they did some let's call it troubleshooting steps, right, before they came down with that decision. And you could tell by the way he looked on the sideline and just the way that everything went down, that was not the plan. Not even close, not even a little bit. The fact that they just left him active as well, at this point, they were hoping he might magically heal halfway through the game. So, which a little part of me kind of maybe thought, if things start looking really, really, really bad, maybe they'll throw him in there, but no, whatever it was, obviously kept him on the sideline.
It's pretty serious too, because he still hasn't been back at practice. Hasn't even been spotted on the field. So damn. By the way, much love, Snug. He's in fourth place on the overall board, just like that, dropping that Pollard drop up there. So when it comes to the offensive line, we talk about Tyron Smith. I want to talk about the highest graded guards in the NFL this year by PFF. You know who they are?
No.
Tyler Smith is one of those guys. Only one game, but an 84.4 rating this last game. One of our best offensive players last week.
Good for him.
84.4. The other guy, still the man, Zach Martin. 84.3, a tenth of a point back. Of course, Zach Martin's had 2 games. Tyler Smith has had 1. But the point here is Zach Martin is a vital piece to our team. Again, interior, we got Biotish hopefully coming back. Interior-wise, he completes the set of 3 inside and really pushes the interior of our blocking forward, especially in the run game. So when I look at the offensive line and running interior, our newest guy here, Billy Price. I'm sure he has a number. I think he's number 69, if I'm not mistaken. But Billy Price has now been, now with the Cowboys here, a center for the Cowboys officially. And Billy Price, again, going to be backing up one of the multiple backups for Tyler Biotish. But again, both these guys are on the field today in full pads. Zach Martin and Tyler Biotish, he led the centers out. I do want to make one little quick note about our new center, Billy Price. Former first-round pick, I think of the Bengals, went to the Giants, then played with the Cardinals. Listen to this. He has 752 offensive snaps last year. All right? Last year, 752 snaps. That's 28th in the NFL. Not very good when it comes to the workload, let's say. Not much workload, in my opinion. But then, with not too many snaps, he caused 11 penalties. Billy Price was second most penalized offensive lineman in the NFL last year, with minimal overall snap count.
Okay, so born to be a Cowboy, got it.
He also in those minimal, and I say minimal, it's still like about 3/4 of the season. But in those 752 snaps, he had 11 penalties, which was second most, and he allowed 5 sacks, which is tied for third most in the NFL last year. Billy Price, that's why he's practice squad. Just so everybody knows. A first rounder on the practice squad, that's the reason why. we got to make sure our backups are solid. And right now, Brock Hoffman may be that elevated player to the Devon Harper spot, or maybe Malik Jefferson. But again, that's why I'm throwing you all these different news and notes. Now, let's get back to the actual official practice report today, guys. Upgrades like we knew. Tyler Biadasz upgraded from did not practice to limited today. Great news. He's on the trajectory of playing for the game. Great news there for Biadasz. How about Zach Martin? Same thing, guys. Zach Martin now went from did not practice to limited. Both center and guard, right guard, now are slated to...
Trending positive.
Yes, to trend to play this game. Big time upgrades for them. We knew this already when we saw them in pads, full pads. Hopefully tomorrow, whatever they do, I don't know if they do full pads tomorrow, but either way, let's hope the Cowboys can keep them going in the right direction and no freaking injury setbacks, knock on wood. Now, what about, like I said, CeeDee Lamb, DeMarcus Lawrence? They're back from the veteran rest day. No surprise there. They're getting their rest, and they're back to full practice today. And you can say elevated to full practice. Chuma Edoga, offensive lineman with the elbow issue, limited yesterday in practice, limited again today in practice. So, you need the backup guy. He's going to have to play that guard or tackle spot. If Tyron Smith can't play, we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then Tyron Smith, guys, he did not practice, as we kind of saw on the field. Expected him to be with the rehab. He wasn't shown with the rehab, at least during the media portion. So maybe just he did the work when the media was gone. Also keep that in mind. But either way, Tyron Smith did not practice with the rehab staff indoors as expected. The only other guy I will say that he popped up on the list today, and you might not be ready for this name, but it was Tony Pollard. What happened to Tony Pollard? Nothing, guys. They put him down as a NIR rest day. He just got a little break. He had the most workload in the last two games. The last two games, the two highest workloads in his career.
Yeah, so McCarthy, also let him take it a little bit easier in practice this week before that. So you can kind of see this is part of the managing Tony Pollard throughout the season kind of plan. So, expect him to have relatively lighter workloads at certain points throughout the week. Just to kind of help compensate for that. So especially if he has another performance, like you said, like the last 2 weeks where, not only did he, run like crazy, but he also got lots of touches and had to, do a lot out there.
Yeah, I also pass block and catch the ball. Even if it wasn't as
successful as maybe we would have wanted it to be.
Yeah. So that right there is the breakdown of the Cowboy injury list. I'm going to start talking some Patriots Cowboys now. But first, any quick little thoughts in the chat so I can take a little break here and take a breather?
Let me see. Rolling back a little bit. It just cracked me up because Haley94 Ware, since we were talking about the O-line, he said, "This is the best I've ever felt in my entire career."
Tyron Smith.
And I just kind of said, I'm like, every time he says that, something else breaks.
The problem is he said it every year. Every year he said that, and every year something goes down.
So, Rolando Rodriguez said, MCF, we have to put Tyler Smith back to left tackle or it's over for Tyron Smith. Give him back the starting job and go Cowboys.
If anything, I want to see Chuma Edoga at left guard, which means Tyler Smith at left tackle. I'm with you. Again, remember, Mike McCarthy did not, when he was asked about that yesterday, he did not answer that question. He said he was not give out that information. So I'm assuming that's exactly what's happening. Tyler Smith probably getting some reps at left tackle.
So, let me see. Demetrius Alexander. He said, It's crazy to me how we have yet to see our starting line play together after 2 years.
Isn't that crazy? That's insane. And I've been hoping for that sooner than later. Still not here. Still is not coming. Hopefully this week, I guess if Tyron Smith, he's the only guy really we're waiting for right now. Tyron Smith, if he gets in there, I think Zach Martin and Biadasz are good. Big ifs, though. So we have to wait and see. I'm not holding my breath this week. Maybe next week. Let me see. Retro Scotty said, do they plan on starting right on the outside and plan on moving Bland back to the inside slot? No. Deshaun Wright's not going to the outside, man. He cannot hang that out there. Who asked that? I'm just curious.
Retro.
Yeah, sorry, Retro. No way. Deshaun Wright is behind Igbenogany. I can't say Igbenogany. There you go. Number 19. He's behind Noah. Noah is the next guy up right now. When Deshaun Wright comes back, Deshaun Wright's probably behind Noah there in the sense of an outside cornerback. I think the backup in the slot, well, of course, is Jordan Lewis behind Bland, and behind Jordan Lewis is Israel Mukuamu. as the backup slot corner, even though he's safety.
All right, so Jason Rumford said it's going to be a primetime game on Sunday.
A primetime game? As far as...
I think... Yeah, Jason,
it's going to be a national game.
I was going to say, yeah, it's a national... I was going to say, I think the primetime game is next week.
I say national game. We're getting the number one crew, and that makes us the nationally televised game. But when you look at the map, like, the whole West Coast is getting the San Francisco game, and the rest of the country is getting the Cowboys. So,
well, there you go, as it should be.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, talk about injuries real quick. This is going to be quick, because the Patriots have the same injuries as yesterday, exactly the same.
Okay.
All these guys are limited for 2 straight days. Christian Barmore at defensive lineman, David Gacho, he's a defensive lineman. Also, both these guys are, limited in practice. You got Jonathan Jones, cornerback with the ankle. He's limited. He's the guy I said to keep watching. He missed the last 2 weeks with that ankle injury. He's still limited. So, again, got to keep an eye on that. Then they have 2 offensive linemen. We talked about them yesterday when we broke down the Patriots. But Sidney Sow has a concussion, still not out there. He was limited in that sense. And then Cole Strange, who's their starting guard. So they're kind of weaker in that offensive line guard spot, interior. So, again, guys to look at to try to, break through there. If Mac Jones gets pressured, well, we talked about it yesterday. He's very, very inaccurate. The Cowboy defense, and I know we talked about the defense versus we're going to flip it today. We're going to talk about the offense on our side, but really examine this Patriot defense. The Cowboy defense has totaled 72 pressures this season. That's the 3rd most in the NFL in pressures. Cowboys. The Patriots offensive line has allowed 48 pressures this year. That's the 4th most in the NFL. So, just like that. The Cowboys.
Do you think they know what we're knocking on their door?
Oh, listen, they do. But you know what they're going to do? Unfortunately, they're going to look at the Cardinal game and say, "Let's do what they did. It worked for them. We got to be on top of this ish." If you know what I mean. So that's kind of I don't have much more to say about the defense when it comes to the Patriots offense. Again, we talked about him yesterday. Mac Jones, number 10. In fact, let me throw him on here real quick, just to give you a quick catch-up here, and then we're going right to the defense, and we're going to actually get some quotes from some of our guys that spoke about this Patriot game coming up. But, yes, I know, the Patriots there. I like to always start off like that. But let's talk about the Patriots just real quick, guys. Their offense, just for a second. We talked about Mac Jones, quarterback. Running back, Ramondre Stevenson, number 38, but Zeke, of course, is also going to be utilized. You're going to have tight ends, Henry Hunter, number 85, the guy to watch. Mike Gesicki, number 88. Receivers, they don't really use them too much. Devontae Parker, number 1. Kendrick Bourne, number 84, who is, their only guy with a touchdown. And Juju Smith-Schuster is their slot, kind of their slot receiver. So those are the only guys they got there right now. And then you got the offensive line, like I said, Trent Brown is a starting left tackle. Good player, but he was a little off last game. Cole Strange is banged up, and he's their left guard starter. You might get Antonio Maffia, a rookie, coming in there to take over his spot. Again, Sidney Sow, he's also injured with a concussion. He can't back any of those guys up. David Andrews, he's the starting center. Mike Owenu is the right guard. Calvin Anderson is the right tackle, formerly of the Denver Broncos. So that's kind of the way their offense breaks down. But now we're going to break down some of their defense. And before I even get there to their defense, which I'll give you a peek, it's right there. All right? Before we even get there, baby, Dak Prescott, he spoke. But I also know that when I break down Dak Prescott real quick about how is he doing when it comes to, not throwing to a wide receiver for a touchdown this year. We know there's more than just, a one reason why for this happening. We know it's the scheme, and we know it's this and that. And so there's obviously other circumstances. But this is the first time in Dak Prescott's career that he started the first 3 games of a season without throwing a touchdown pass to a wide receiver. The Cowboys also, the Patriots have 1 touchdown to a wide receiver. Cowboys have 0. The Cowboys are the only team in the NFL whose wide receivers have yet to score a touchdown.
I mean, that's obviously not great.
Obviously, but we know the circumstances behind it, is the point.
Exactly.
It's not that Dak never can do that. He's always done that.
It feels like that stat is more a victim of circumstance in a very weird, bizarre way, if that makes sense.
I agree, 100%.
So, like I said, still not great. We still want to see that change here in the next week or two, and realistically speaking, it'd be much better to do it this week than try to get it done next week. Although next week, we're going to have to get it done one way or the other.
Yeah, San Francisco, and we're going to need our offensive line full healthy. We'll talk about the Patriots defense in a minute. But first, baby, why don't you talk about Dak Prescott and what he had to say about that loss against the Cardinals? What's he going to do going forward here? Hopefully getting better in this Mike McCarthy offense. McCarthy adding the tweaks needed. Dak focusing, concentrating, I don't know, a little more accurate maybe from Dak Prescott. So what did he say, baby?
Well, first of all, he is also having kind of a hard time moving on from this loss. Like a lot of people here in the chat are still saying like, oh man, I still am a little bit hung up on it. Dak said, yeah, I was pissed off. I'm always pissed off after a loss. I don't know if we can rate my different levels of pissed offness, but yeah, it sucks. It really does. You don't do anything with the idea of losing or thinking you're going to lose until that last second. It's not even a reality in your head. But yeah, we're pissed off. So, hey,
saying it is one thing. He's got to do it. Right? He's got to start pissing off.
Look, added in another pissed off saying, you heard it in the locker room. Someone just said it, being pissed off. No, it just allows you to focus a little bit more honestly. Nobody likes to lose, and nobody likes to lose, especially in a game that you expect to win. Which again, we haven't really, I'm just saying, like, we never even talked about that factor, right? Like, all our Cowboys kind of went in there expecting to walk out of there with the win.
And when you overlook it, and it's not just the overlooking, it's the other things Dak said, but that's part of the issue.
Yeah, Dak went on to add, forget the media or whatever, but forget whatever your lines are, whatever you all say. Nobody wants to lose, but we understand how tough it is in this league. Even after a loss, you come in and you reset yourself a bit humbled. Humbled a little bit. It just allows you to focus a little bit more.
So it wakes him up is what he's saying.
Basically. So adding in there as well, he did touch on the red zone issues. Not surprising. Adding in there, quote, it's hard to say concern. Obviously, that's our focus and attention. But when you have time, you can get better. You don't think you can't do that. We know things we can do that and overcome these things.
Again, we talked about the red zone tweaks and the things that McCarthy's going to switch up and change. I mean, that's partially what Dak is saying. Of course, they got to play better, execute better. The play call's got to be better. And I think that the Cowboys are kind of finding maybe, throw in there Deuce Vaughn. A little more Cavante Turpin. Add some speed in that small distance area. Yeah,
so... and remember, Dak also, I think, feels partially responsible for some of those red zone situations, too. So I think that's, like, a double thing there. Like, he's not just saying, like, oh, hey, this is what we're going to do moving forward, but that's another way of him kind of taking blame.
True.
So.
He does that well.
Dak was also asked, hey, were you hurt before that overtime win against New England 2 years ago?
Remember, he hurt his leg and couldn't play against the
Vikings.
And
Dak said with kind of a bit of a smile on his face and stuff, he said, no, I wasn't hurt before the game. I knew I was right. So...
so he didn't push himself in that game, was the thing.
Yeah, just thought that was a little funny there. So, and then the final kind of bit from Dak Prescott, right? He spoke about Ezekiel Elliott. So, he said that he did talk to Zeke the other night, saying, quote, probably the first time we've talked on the phone for that long in a while.
Yeah.
His spirits are great. He's excited. It'll be good to see him. I'm happy for him, and I'm always pulling for him. He's doing well, and I'm excited for him. So
well, we'll see what happens on game day. Of course, Jerry Jones on the honors Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, he's doing it for the enemy. But either way, Dak and Zeke are still friends. They're always going to be friends.
Mm-hmm. So, he added on there as well, like some of his favorite memories with Zeke. He added in there probably him jumping over the guys, just clearing them and not changing his stride. One of the greatest plays that's never going to be shown fully is him jumping over that guy in Philly and then tripping over his own feet. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I remember that.
If he would have scored, it would have lived forever.
Yeah.
But because he didn't score, it's just something we can talk and laugh about.
I remember that. Yeah, every time I think about that play, I see him jump other guys and land on his feet, not fall. But yeah, he jumped them, almost had a touchdown, fell against the Eagles. Damn, so close. We won that game. That guy was back on track that game.
So now that was it from.
Now I know we skipped somebody. We have to talk about the injuries. I think Zach Martin said a couple words, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Remember, guys, he was a little banged up, but we finally got to hear from him. He said, quote, "I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm doing everything I can to be able to get out there Sunday and be available."
It's great news. We're kind of knowing he's trending that way, which is great to see him in full pads in this last day of practice, today's practice.
Yeah, so a source said it felt, quote, pretty good. Zach Martin also said, we'll just play it by ear these next few days.
All right, well, that means he's being tentative and cautious. Don't want to give us too much information. Just keep doing your thing, Zach. I have a feeling he'll be back on that field. And we're going to need him, guys, against this defense of the New England Patriots. They have a very good defense. I would say a top defense there. And I want to start just really quickly talking about a couple of their players. Number one on their defensive line is Matthew Judon, number 9. You see him right there? Weak side linebacker, but we know he's really, he's always on that defensive line, pass rushing, kind of like think of a DeMarcus Lawrence, a Micah Parsons kind of guy. So Matthew Judon there as the pass rusher on that defensive line. He's tied with Micah with 4 sacks this year. He will get back. He's one of the top 5 pressure pass rushers in the NFL. Judon will get in Dak's face, no matter who he's going up against. So it's going to be big that this offensive line is ready to go. What number 9 is going to bring. So we're going to talk a little more about him in a minute. But we got Matthew Judon. Behind him is number 55, Josh Uche, which he's been last year kind of came alive towards the end of the season. This year he's picked up right there. Number 55 is a guy to watch. I know some of you guys may not know him, but you're going to know him in this game. He's a guy to keep an eye on. Another edge rusher or edge guy, Dietrich Wise. He's going to be number 90. He's number 91 out there as well. Interior, they got Devon Godcho, who is Devon Godcho. Again, he is the guy that's injured. I'm not sure he's going to play. Again, Christian Barmore is his backup, and he's also banged up. So they're definitely weak inside. And I say weak, I mean like light inside. We can run if we have our full offensive line. Lawrence Guy Sr., number 93, will be there as a defensive tackle. Sam Roberts in the mix. At the linebacker spots, they got Jawan Bentley at the middle linebacker spot. They got, strong side linebacker, Jalini Tavi, with Marty Mapu and Mac Wilson back there at linebackers. And at the cornerback spots, a guy we're going to talk about again here in a minute, number 6, rookie, Christian Gonzalez. Left side cornerback, you're going to have the right cornerback, Jonathan Jones, who is still hurt. Going to keep an eye on that. He's, their other starter. Has not played, I don't think, this year, or at least missed the last 2 games. They also have their nickel cornerback, Miles Bryant, number 27. By the way, Christian Gonzalez, well, I'll just save it for later. We're going to talk about him. He's going to be matched up a lot, I'm hearing, against CeeDee Lamb. So, Amir Speed, another cornerback, Sean Wade. At safety, they have Kyle Duggar, number 23, and then they have a guy we know, Jabril Peppers, formerly of the Giants, from a couple years back, and the Browns. But now he is with the Patriots, and he's their free safety. He's back there roaming. Jalen Mills, formerly of the Eagles, he's also free safety on their team, along with Adrian Phillips at strong safety. So, again, they got their, they got some people we know out there in that defense, but how does this break down in our matchup with them? I know you have a couple thoughts here. We're going to break out. The next guy is going to speak a little bit later because we've got to wait to the cornerback. So let's start, baby, with the offensive, well, not the offensive line, but let's just speak with our offensive line versus this defensive front. All right? We've given up the 4th fewest pressures in the league. Again, we're facing today, this game, not today, but in this game, we're seeing that we're going to be going up against Matthew Judon, Josh Uche, and they have combined for 25 pressures just between these two guys, 9 and 55. They have 25 pressures and 5 sacks in 3 games. So they will get on your ass pressure-wise and sack-wise. Cowboys haven't really dealt with, I guess you could say, I got to guess here, because the Jets had a good defensive front. The Giants supposedly got better. Is this the best defensive pass rushing group we're going to face here so far this year? Maybe. I don't know. So again, on the inside and the interior, like I said, Christian Barmore is a guy who's kind of banged up right now, limited in practice, but you got to keep an eye on him. I'll compare it to Osa Odigizua. All right, Barmore is kind of like their Osa Odigizua. So he's quick, he's inside there, he's going to use his hands a little lighter, so maybe we can move him in the run game. So we'll see how that works out. But that's kind of the way we're seeing the defensive line versus our offensive line. Barmore does go missing sometimes when it comes to the run stop. So inside, running the ball, guys. Outside, they got good pass rushers. But inside, they have guys that are not really good at stopping the run. Now, I'm not telling you we're going to be able to run all over them, but if you look at these numbers, you look at these guys' skill sets, we should be able to run inside on the defensive front. 4 of these guys. It's really a 3-4 defense, but they got number 9 on there with Uche coming in there. So again, they're very efficient in the pass rush game. And that goes from the outside and the interior as well. Much better for Christian Barmore inside defensive position. He can be efficient. So now, slide over to the second level. Where the Cowboys on our defense have problems. But, if we can get past the defensive line running the ball, then what waits us in the second level? And they have a capable run stopper with Jawan Bentley. All right, last year he finished in the top 25 in defensive stops among all linebackers. And this year he's in the top 10 already. So, not a big name that shoots off the page or the film, but Jawan Bentley gets the tackles. He's a solid run stopper. Bentley also ranks high on missed tackles. So, he's a capable run stopper. He can slow down and stop the run, but he also has a lot of misses, a lot of missed tackles, which with Tony Pollard, and we know what he's done in the past, when you look at our offense and you look at what Tony Pollard does in the run game, he makes you miss. So, again, a key maybe to victory, we'll talk about tomorrow, is running the ball inside with a weak defensive front and a linebacker that misses tackles, interior, and Jawan Bentley. Pollard time, you know what I'm saying? So, again, Bentley has the 11th most missed tackle rate among all starting linebackers, and that's something that we're going to have to exploit with our running backs, So, I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think that's definitely, I'm already taking that out of this game. Like, we got to attack the ground. Yeah. We got to run the ball. I'm not saying we have to go running crazy. We definitely have to throw, and get those early down aggressiveness. But I think we can also run the ball. If we have the lead, the Cowboys can take the time off and control the game. I'm just saying. Just going to throw it out there. Now, the other linebacker is Jalini Tavai, who's another able tackler out there. And you know what he hasn't done? He hasn't missed any tackles. In fact, he's perfect. He has not missed a tackle this season.
Damn.
So you can see the opposites there. Now, again, you'll find him on the field mainly because of his size and his solid frame. All right, that's the main thing about Tavai. He's a big guy. He plays with good play strength, and he's an aggressive tackler. But here's the issue with him. He's not at all explosive. He's not very fast. So, yeah, he might get, if he gets you, he'll tackle you, he's got to catch you. So, again, he can struggle. He's going to struggle as well. Running behind players in pursuit. Try to track someone down. He'll never catch anybody. He's just not going to, he doesn't have that kind of speed to catch from behind or explosiveness. So, yes, he may tackle us, but we might be 4 or 5 yards down the field. If we get past him because of the speed, he can't catch us. So, again, we'll see how that goes with guys like Deuce Vaughn. Faster running backs. Of course, Pollard. Rico Dowdle. We'll see what happens when it comes to, Tavai's ability to do his linebacker job. Now, here's where we get to the cornerback spot. This is very important because this is where, again, we know that not Wise, but we know that, I can't believe I forgot his name now. The freaking best guy here, number 9, Matthew Judon and Josh Uche. These two guys, that's their power guys right now. But when it comes to the linebacker, not much. When it comes to the secondary, you have what I think is going to be I don't know about right now, but it will be their best player eventually. And that is their rookie cornerback, Christian Gonzalez, number 6. He's an athletic freak, very capable of playing the cornerback position at this level in the NFL just in his rookie year. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Oh. So I'm sorry, guys. I had to check one thing here. Audio was acting up. But basically what I'm saying is Christian Gonzalez, guys, athletic freak, capable of playing NFL-style level defense. He's got an interception already this season, 3 games in. He's allowed a completion rate of 68%. All right, so he's beatable. But he's getting targeted a lot right now. And he's about to face the Cowboy receiving core that, with I think more our experience, can maybe find his weaknesses and maybe exploit him a little bit. Now, he is a very good player, but again, he has lack of instincts, you could say, in the NFL, has a little bit of bad anticipation. So the Cowboy veteran, like Brandon Cooks, like CeeDee Lamb, should be able to find ways to work around him, in my opinion, with his lack of instincts and bad anticipation. Now, the other thing I want to mention, I'm going to throw him up on the screen because he's about to speak here real quick. A couple comments. CeeDee Lamb. That's going to be the main cover right there. Number 6 is going to be on number 88. That's what Belichick's kind of implying. That's what a lot of people believe. I don't know if I buy into that all the way because they call him Gonzo, by the way. Christian Gonzalez, he cannot play in the slot. He's not a good slot player. So we know CeeDee Lamb in the slot is a thing we do often, 60, 70, 80% of the time. And that's Miles Bryant, who's going to be that nickel slot cornerback this game. Now, will they switch it up? Will Belichick? We know Belichick loves to take out number 1 receivers, not by hurting them. I mean, by taking them out, by scheming them out with the defense. So the thing could be is, hey, let's put Christian Gonzalez on him the whole game. If he does that, it's good if he goes left or right side, but it's going to be an issue when he goes into the slot for Christian Gonzalez, the rookie. CeeDee Lamb should eat him up in there. But if he doesn't do that, let's say he keeps Christian Gonzalez on the outside whenever CeeDee Lamb's there, and that's maybe 20, 30% of the time. The rest of the time, CeeDee Lamb's in the slot. That is when you have to, I think Dak and really McCarthy got to tell Dak, hey, we got to attack this guy, Miles Bryant, in the slot when you see him up against CeeDee Lamb. If not bracketing him, but double teaming him, and that's the key there. So you still attack Gonzalez on the outside. You can do that with CeeDee Lamb, but you can definitely do more, maybe more, with CeeDee Lamb in the slot. So something to keep in mind for the Cowboys as we enter this game. CeeDee Lamb is going to have his hands full with his rookie. All right? Christian Gonzalez, you got to remember, he also won the Defensive Player of the Month for September in the AFC. I'm sorry, not the Defensive Player. The Defensive Rookie of the Month in the NFL. Christian Gonzalez, number 6, Defensive Rookie of the Month for the month of September. So you know he means business. He had a good rookie month to kick off his career. Well deserved. You know who he went up against in his game, in the multiple game, the 3 games he went. You know who he played up against? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith from the Eagles, Tyreek Hill from the Dolphins, Jalen Waddle, and also Garrett Wilson from the Jets. So you guys feel me? Like, he's gone up against some of the best receivers right now, and he has a total of 16 tackles. He does have a sack. He has 1 interception, and he has 3 passes defensed. So Christian Gonzalez is out there. He's scrappy. He's showing up like a veteran. So don't sleep on the rookie. This guy's a top first-round pick for a reason. He's the guy I hoped would slip to the Cowboys, and somehow we'd pick him up, but he never did. And again, when you watch him on film, Christian Gonzalez is freaking incredible. Trial by fire for him. He has blown 68% completion percentage on him. That's not very good. So he has struggled, of course, with some of the best receivers in the league. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson in the first 3 weeks. And but even with the struggles, he's held his own. That's why I believe CeeDee Lamb versus Christian Gonzalez, get your popcorn ready. This is a matchup to watch. When you see number 6 when you see 6 versus 88, I'm not saying CeeDee has an advantage, but it's an interesting matchup to see how they try to work each other. Does Gonzalez slow down CeeDee Lamb? Can CeeDee Lamb use his veteran mindset to kind of get past Gonzalez? And if Cooks is on him, can Cooks get past Gonzalez? We'll see. We'll have to see what Mike McCarthy plans to do and how he uses our guys versus Christian Gonzalez, number 6. So I'm curious what CeeDee Lamb thinks, because I know that he spoke today. I don't know if he spoke about this, but CeeDee Lamb spoke today.
Well, he spoke a little bit about the history of Bill Belichick kind of shutting things down for the top guys on teams, right? And that's one hell of a long history.
Just talked about that. That's what Belichick loves to do: shut down your best receiver. Well,
but yeah, he said, "quote, he schemes well. kind of watching what he did to Miami and going 3 deep safeties, he does a great job of switching up the presentation and taking away the wide receiver one. He'll throw a couple doubles in, he'll mix up the coverages, kind of keep the offense guessing. So, you know, CeeDee Lamb said this as far as like kind of preparing and expecting that extra attention he's about to get there from Belichick, saying it's bittersweet to get doubled. It's very bittersweet. It means you're doing something right, but also they're trying to take you away from being productive in the game. Obviously, we have a plan for it, but I'm expecting to see a double team.
So, when you see a double team, that means we're going to work Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, and others to the advantage of them, hey, taking extra special attention to CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's going to get open, hopefully, some of the time. But we're going to make sure we try to, you know, also take what the advantage gives us when they're all watching him. So let it happen. Now, I will say this also when it comes to coverage side of things. And talking about CeeDee Lamb, it's about their defense. So Christian Gonzalez talked about him. What about the other guys back there in their defensive secondary? Jabril Peppers, all right, the safety back there. He is their best safety of the 2 and 3 they got back there. And Jabril Peppers is great in helping stop the run. So yes, let me reiterate. Interior and inside, they have no real good run stoppers, let's just say, generally speaking. Linebackers have their issues at stopping the run. The only guy that really stands out anywhere in that area is Jabril Peppers at stopping the run. Again, guys, Jabril Peppers, number 5. Keep that in mind. He's not on this list here, but he is their best safety. He likes to kind of help the linebackers, kind of plays that J-Ron Curse kind of feel, and goes up there and pops guys and rips the ball out. Got to watch out for Jabril Peppers. He'll be coming through there, helping run support the whole game. They also have Jonathan Jones, like I said, guys, on the injury report, missed the last 2 games with that ankle. So we're going to keep watching him, and we'll see what he kind of listed tomorrow as far as his designation for the game. That's going to be big, but he is their starter. He's out right now. So again, the slot is going to be Miles Bryant. That to me, again, as we reiterate, where do we want to attack? Moving CD to the slot, obviously an easy key for this game. If you move to the slot and you go up against Miles Bryant, he's the best place to go and pick at, to attack. Why? Bryant is allowing a completion rate of 79%. You throw the ball 10 times at him, you're going to catch it 8 times. You attack him. So, again, passer rating for opposing quarterbacks against him, 101.5. Very high. So, again, you want to attack Miles Bryant in the nickel, number 27. Now, moving on from the defense real quick, there is also the other part of things, which is special teams. Maybe your favorite part of things. Special teams. And for the Patriots, they have Chad Ryland, who has missed 2 field goals in 5 attempts. Both misses came last week against the Jets. One was a horrible miss from a makeable 48 yards. So when you look at our guy, Brandon Aubrey, he hasn't missed 10 kicks, right, the whole year, right? So obviously we have an advantage in the kicking game right now when it comes to the Patriots. Now, what about our punter, Brian Anger? Again, one of the better punters in the league. He's punting for an average of 50.4 yards, which is 8th best in the league. And he also has a hang time of 4.44 seconds, which is 15th longest in the NFL. But those key punting statistics way outdoes their punter, Bryce Baringer. This guy's average punt distance is only 43.5 yards. So field position, the defense stops the offense. I'm just saying, this is why we're talking, the offense against their defense is going to be helped when they're only punting 43 yards per punt. 43, that's not that much. So that ranks 28th out of 32 in the NFL. And he has a hang time of only 41.5 seconds. That's like 3 seconds less than Anger. I'm sorry, not 3 seconds, but 0.3 of a second left. That's a lot. And so basically that ranks 30th out of 32 in the NFL. You see how high we ranked on punts? They do not rank very much. So a lot of yards returned against this punter. Kevontae Turpin, can we get it? Can we get you in here? Turpin had a huge return, 64 yards. It was nullified because of Devon Harper's holding call there. But it took us out of it. Basically, we were in scoring position, ready to come back and make it back, and then we got chopped off there, and that was that. So the Patriots have a lot of players that do take on kick return duties. Jabril Peppers, like I said, he's a guy out there. Demario Douglas took on punt returns last week. They both have longer yards per return currently right now than Kevontae Turpin. But last year, of course, Turpin was one of the best, I think the best returner statistically in the league, a Pro Bowler as well. So, we'll see what they bring on that side of things. I'll say, maybe one last thing I know you have. I know you love special teams. C.J. Goodwin actually spoke. And he spoke about, speaking of special teams, by far, one of the best. You talk about C.J. Goodwin, one of the best guys out there. This guy is truly a legend.
Consistent, too.
Yeah, but this guy's a legend in special teams. Matthew Slater from the Patriots. So, I think one of his coaches in Atlanta showed him highlights of Matthew Slater. Showed C.J. Goodwin highlights of Matthew Slater in New England. And again, he's still in New England. He's their best special teams guy. Matthew Slater. What did Goodwin say about all that, baby?
Goodwin said he kept putting him up.
Nope.
Jason Renfro just put up.
Yeah, he put it up. Jason Renfro with that one.
There, much love.
The 1-2, J. Lou. What do you have to say, baby?
He said, did he really trade for the corner practice squad from Denver? Or corner player? Not sure. Not sure you mean that, Jason.
Not sure. I'll double check, but I don't think so. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Unless it happened
while we were live in the last hour or so. I don't believe so, just being honest. But thank you, Jason, of course. Appreciate you with that,
I'll double check that.
Oh, Patrick Surtain.
Oh, yeah, no. What do you say?
Did he really trade for the corner Patrick Surtain from Denver?
Jason, I don't see that happening. I'll double check it, but I don't think that happened. If that happened, we would have heard about it.
Yeah, we would have had to sell the yacht.
Yeah, everyone would have been in here screaming about it, right? You got to let me know who told you that, Jason. You got to let me know.
Oh.
But I'll double check it. Maybe something happened. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe. So, let me see. Fuego said that's what I'm saying. Dak put no pressure on the throw, meaning it was slow speed into the hands of the opponent. So, I'm not sure exactly which story you're talking about, but it doesn't really matter. We know what happened.
What was that again? Was it?
Fuego said, that's what I'm saying. Dak put no pressure on the throw, meaning it was slow speed into the hands.
Oh, the interception. Yeah, I mean it was a bad decision by Dak, but there was no options for Dak. If he threw a hard pass, it would have been knocked down or intercepted as well. Maybe the best bet would have been 87 Ferguson, but guys, let it go. Let it go, like in the movie, guys, in Frozen. You gotta let it go because the game's over. Dak is not to blame on that entire failure on the offense. He's partially to blame, like a lot of other guys on offense, but Mike McCarthy's the main guy. We had an efficient moving offense, and we broke down in the red zone. That's not that we have bad players. It means we had a coaching hiccup on the red zone side of things. That will be fixed. Hopefully the run defense gets fixed. We'll be back on track, guys. We'll be back on track. I'm checking right now, but guys. Jason Renfro, whoever told you
that red zone interception. Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up, Fuego. Just in case.
Well, that's his only interception this year. But yeah, I just want to make sure that Jason Renfro does understand. That's fake news right there, brother. Don't get tricked by that stuff. No, Patrick Surtain was not traded to the Cowboys. And, if he was, it'd be like a crazy, like, picks and stuff we have to give up paying him. You really think that the Cowboys are going to do that? Nah, didn't think so. So, anyways, I'm sorry, baby. I know you were back on this thing. By the way, Jason, with that drop, puts Marco Seppi to 68 points. What was the final comments from C.J. Goodwin when it comes to, his kind of teachings in the beginning of his career? Again, I think he was with the Falcons.
I'm just going to start from the beginning. I'm
just saying he was with the Falcons, and his coach there, Coach Armstrong, showed him highlights of Matthew Slater, playing in New England. So now they asked C.J. Goodwin about this, and what did he have to say about it, baby?
He said he kept putting him up. He would say, this guy right here, you could be something like this guy. This guy made a career out of special teams. He kept showing his determination to get to the ball and his playmaking ability. You just watch him and man, I know a lot of special teams players look up to Slater. And he said that something kind of just clicked for him. He said, I was destined to be a special teams player. By the way, he still watches Slater to this day. So, kind of crazy. He also added in there, to dominate at a position for that long, it doesn't matter what you do. I know you're prolific at something for 16 years. I don't see why he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. That's part of the game, right? There are 3 phases to the game, right? I know special teams gets tossed under the rug a lot, but if you dominate at something, you should be rewarded for that. He's been one of the most dominant players in NFL history. I want to be the best ever, said Goodwin. He also said, just like Slater. Ooh. So, again, there we go, straight from CJ Goodwin, who, thank goodness for the coach who told him, hey, you could have a career in special teams, because, man, that came through and paid off for us in dividends. So, let me see. Cracking me up, guys. Honestly, there's, some very bad faith actors out there trying to use the Dallas Cowboy name to spread their misinformation and their, clickbait stuff and all that. But we do lots of weird, crazy things here at MCF. Two things we can always guarantee you: no clickbait, none of that bullshit stuff. So, there we go. Kind of cracked me up here. Let me roll back a little bit more. Yeah, everybody would have heard it. Yeah, I feel like if something like that had actually happened, at least internally with us, like, there's no way that would have stayed under wraps. No way. So, kind of rolling back here. No, I just want to make sure we're all good. That Dak is in Dak. Let's see. Oh, Dak needs to roast this rookie. Oh, cool. Hey. Hell yeah. So, let me see. Sad Cowboy fan said, the interception at the end of the game tells me what Dak is. Throwing into triple coverage. If the first guy didn't get it, damn, the other two had it.
Yeah, I don't know if it tells you about Dak. It tells me about the Mike McCarthy play calls were not very good. In the sense of they didn't give... Again, guys, I wish you guys would watch film on this stuff, because you would see that Dak never really had many options. Now, you got to go back to the... let me put him over here, Dak Prescott. You want to go to the the play that he... Again, there's multiple times that he could have found maybe Brandon Cooks a little bit more, a better pass to Brandon Cooks. I agree. On the other side of the field, he had a chance in the end of the third quarter to hit Brandon Cooks, and that was a little bit off. You can't be a little bit off in those precise times. You got to give Brandon Cooks the best chance to get the touchdown and score. So I think Dak left points on the board, but the end of that game, and we're thinking about the end of that game, and we think we're gonna win with no new offensive kind of tweaks in the red zone. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Defense not do his job, and that's where it started from. That's where the collapse started from.
Let me see here. Fuego, by the way, said, if MCF MCW, if Mike Evans were to come to Dallas Cowboys as a trade, who do you trade for him? Serious question.
Who?
Mike Evans.
Oh, geez, again, it depends on what you're giving up.
Yeah, we'd have to trade some kind of very high value something.
Yeah, there's no way we're gonna. I just don't see the Cowboys making a trade for Mike Evans. How is he gonna help things when the play calls are still not changing? If they don't change, it's not gonna help. Again, you can have Mike Evans, but if you don't run the fade route, or if you don't, construct a better red zone mindset game plan, then you're going to not score still. Many people want to bring in Kyle Pitts. They think an answer is a player. That's the thing with fans. Sometimes we think that the answer is the player, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it actually isn't. Whether it's Devon Harper on defense, right, or let's fix this with another receiver or target in the red zone. It's not a target in the red zone. It's the scheme that's not working. It's the scheme that's not working, guys. So. The answer, I hate that, people just want answers, and I understand the natural feeling to have that inclination, but when we don't know yet until we have to see the next game, we got to just wait. Replacing guys, Devon Harper with LVE, take LVE out and replace him with Devon Harper, who's cut now. That's what I was hearing all week this week. Then I'm hearing, let's get Kyle Pitts in here from the trade for him, trade 4 draft picks, first rounders, get Kyle Pitts, I'll help the red zone. Or Zeke. Zeke's the reason why red zone's not working, when we proved everything wrong with that. That's obviously 100% wrong. So, obviously, Zeke would help in short yardage, and we were 5 for 5 in short yardage this year. So, Zeke wouldn't help anymore. We're doing better now than we did last year with Zeke, or Zeke is doing this year with the Patriots in short yardage. So, again, people want answers. Mike Evans. No. That's not the end. It'll be Mike Evans, and we still won't have a touchdown to a receiver, because of Mike McCarthy's scheme. But then people will start yelling at Dak. It's Dak's fault. It's not Dak's fault. It's the scheme of the offense. So, I mean, I answered that one. My face is blue here.
So
let's do the shout outs and end it on a quickie tonight, guys. A relatively quick, a 90-minute stream for us here on My Cowboys Family.
So much love to everybody here chilling, hanging in the chat with us. Justin D, Tammy Soltis, much love. Hopefully you're feeling better, Tammy, by the
Tammy,
way.
Feel better.
God Emperor. We have Lost in Translation, much love.
Boom.
Fuego 2.0, of course. Let me see. Mike Aldana, much love.
Yeah.
Thomas Garrett, the Superior. Garrett.
Superior.
Of course, Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
We have Sad Cowboy Fan.
A lot of us feel that way after that. Last 27 years and after this game against the Cardinals.
Right. Oh, Justin D. Colleen K.
Tammy's feeling a little bit better now. That's good.
Oh, glad to hear it. So, let me see. I think, we kind of shouted out. Let me see. At least everybody here I can see in my part of the chat. Tim Pannell, AOD, Retro Scotty. Oh, cool. Yeah. So, just making sure. Back to you, baby. And, of course, guys, don't forget, take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family. And, of course, hop in Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
How about those leaders on the board right now, huh? The champions.
Of course, you have SnugX representing it as the sponsor of the week.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Snug. Appreciate you, of course. And he's not just representing there. The Cash App King crown is his 7 weeks in a row.
You know, I wanted to say something, too, coming up here in, I guess it'll be next week officially for the new month. We're going to do something different here for the I guess you'll say the sponsor of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Much love to Dwayne Broussard for the idea. We're going to implement that starting in October. We'll announce that. You know, probably game day, I guess you can say.
You got to stay tuned.
End of the game.
For game day.
End of the game against the Patriots. We will announce what the new thing is going to be, kicking it off the next week, and the next week, and the next week for that sponsor of the week. It's still going to be sponsor of the week. You're still going to get on that board, guys, but it's even a little added fun to that. So
like sprinkles on top of your sundae.
And by the way, I see Jason Renfro said he's seeing on the top searches and stuff in Google. Yeah, man, they're just a lot of people are just putting in Dallas Cowboys and Patrick Surtain. You know why? Clickety click the clicks, and they just all want to write about why this would be a great trade or not a great trade or this or that. Listen, it ain't happening. I get you. Thank you for asking, Jason. But yeah, it's just a lot of clickbait stuff by most national and local media. I mean, not here, not My Cowboys Family. You know why? Because on this channel, I prided myself on doing this thing and making sure. Like, what if if I'm a fan and I'm listening? I don't want to hear, the national spin. I don't want to hear the talking heads. I want to know what the facts are from a fan who knows his shit about the Cowboys, and that's what I feel I'm talking to you guys about. I'm far from always right. But I'm saying I feel like I know what I'm talking about. You guys know what you're talking about. We discuss it here as fans without the fucking clickbait and bullshit that I see all over the place, especially about trade this and trade that and move here, move there. All that stuff I see on these other channels and other places, news media and all that stuff. Man, this makes it harder for us here to try to get the real news out there. The facts, not the fluff, when it comes to our Cowboys. So on that note, baby, let's remind everybody, not just who the people that dropped the love from above tonight were. Like Jason Renfro gifted a membership as well. Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical. Mark Hovsepian, the man repping it right now. 68 points in the stream boss and the leader on the overall board. You got 24/7 Cowboy dropping the little J. Lou love. And SnugX, the sponsor of the week. The Cash App King for 7 straight weeks. The leader in the Cash App now. For going for that Aikman 8. Much love to SnugX. Much love to everybody in the house dropping the love from above. And everybody who's dropped it this week, you see your names on the board. Appreciate you guys. Baby. I know we don't have any last shout-outs, but we're about to get on out of here in a couple of minutes.
Let me see. SnugX, Mike Aldana.
Snug in the house.
Let me see. Justin D. Fuego. No, I think we lost in transition. Yeah, I think we got everybody here.
Yeah, we got you guys. So thank you all, guys. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And baby, let them know why we do this each and every night here on My Cowboys Family.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Hell yeah. Guys, thank you guys. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, we will always rep that star over everything. Here on My Cowboys Family, never forget the number one thing, here, now, and forever. 6 years in a row and beyond, 7 seasons doing this thing. Here on My Cowboys Family, never forget the number one thing, here, now, and forever. As always, say it loud, say it proud, and say it with us. Go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping in here, dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. Leave your comments down below. Truly appreciate your guys' drops of love from above, whether it's Super Chat, Cash App, gifting memberships. Appreciate, humbled by all your love and support, guys, on that front. And now it is time to officially, after an hour and a half, to clock out and drop out for the night. Before we can do that and relock and reload on a Fan Friday for tomorrow and the final injury designations right around the corner. Baby, before we can drop out of here for the night, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat has now been dropped. Guys, thank you for dropping in, checking in with us, and talking Cowboy news, info, and updates. I'm glad we got the injury stuff kind of figured out now, right? Another Cowboys chat cleared that up, at least for one more day. We know Zach Martin, Biotish, they're on that field. They're at full pads. They're should be going on that field against the Patriots and that defense of theirs. Pretty good defense. Tyron Smith, not sure about him yet. We shall see, right? Micah will be ready. Defensive player of the month in the NFC. But on offense, Dak, CeeDee Lamb. We know about the running game. We're going to have to establish that. But CeeDee Lamb going up against Christian Gonzalez. Important matchup. Number 9, Matthew Judon, trying to track down Dak in the pass rush. Some very important parts of this game. We're going to answer them Sunday afternoon. Oh, yeah. In Big D, baby, at AT&T Stadium. Here on MCF, it's always about that navy blue. That silver, too. That star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Fan Friday. Thank you all for hitting that like, subbing it up here to the channel, 28,000 and beyond. Family members, make sure you hit that notification bell as well. To all videos, guys, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a safe evening. Be safe, guys. Much love to all. Peace out. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.